What if the Arctic was hiding something far more terrifying than melting ice caps? Two scientists, a vanished submarine, and a sea monster straight out of ancient legends all collide in a high-stakes survival mission where one wrong move could mean the end of everything. This isn't your average undersea thriller. This is a full-on battle against the myth, brought to life. Up in the frozen wilderness of the Arctic, geologists Julia and Oscar are carrying out underwater explosive experiments when they get an urgent storm warning. With no time to spare, they abandon their camp and make a break for it. But just a few miles away, a Russian submarine detects something strange: loud, biological noises. The seabed itself begins to rise. Back at Julia's camp, chaos erupts. Her scanners go haywire and the ice starts to split apart beneath them. Julia wants to grab her data, but there's no time. Oscar pulls her onto a snowmobile and they race for their lives. The cracks grow wider and faster, then boom! The snowmobile is launched, crashes, and explodes. They barely survive. Their research station isn't so lucky. It sinks beneath the ice, taking the other scientists with it. Meanwhile, the Russian sub is under attack. Something massive hits them from the deep. Amid the chaos, they spot something through the water. Tentacles. Giant ones. They fire blindly. One crew member gets thrown across the control room. Another manages to release an emergency buoy just before the sub vanishes beneath the waves. News of the disappearance reaches Russian Naval HQ. That submarine was carrying serious weapons. They can't risk those falling into the wrong hands, or worse. So they send a rescue team, led by Victor, the brother of the missing sub's captain. His family's terrified they'll lose another son. Before he departs, his mother gives him their late father's watch, a reminder of the sacrifices made at sea. At the docks, Victor meets Admiral Olshansky, an old family friend who insists on joining the mission despite his age and reputation for being, well, difficult. The crew isn't thrilled. They were pulled from vacation for this, and the atmosphere is tense. Meanwhile, Julia and Oscar are stranded in a blizzard trying to get a signal. Julia almost falls into an abyss, saved at the last second by Oscar. A call finally connects to a nearby oil rig, but the storm scrambles their words. With the signal lost again, Oscar fires a flare and collapses. Back under the sea, Victor's sub reaches the last known location of the missing vessel. Rumors swirl. The crew is anxious. In secret, Olshansky shows Victor and a few officers a disturbing report. Tension builds. Then, hope. Julia and Oscar find the emergency buoy frozen in the ice. They realize help will come and decide to stay put. Sure enough, Victor's team picks up the signal and heads straight there. But as they approach, they're surrounded by whales. When one bumps into the propeller, Olshansky orders sonar activated, against Victor's advice. The whales flee, then come back. But not because of the sonar. It's something else. The ocean floor begins to shift. A tentacle lashes out and kills a whale with one hit. It's here again. Olshansky wants to fire, but Victor stops him. They don't even know what it is. They dive into an ice crevice to hide. The pressure's crushing, radar screams in their ears, and just as their path is blocked, the creature backs off. They surface for emergency repairs, and just then, Julia and Oscar spot the sub. The crew rescues them. Olshansky suspects they might be spies, but Victor decides to bring them aboard. As they warm up and eat, Julia tells Victor about the explosive experiments. He pieces it together. Those explosions likely disturbed whatever's lurking down there. Victor wants to keep searching. Olshansky pushes back, warning him that his reckless choices are adding up. One more mistake and he's out. But Victor's driven. If there are survivors from his brother's crew, they're running out of oxygen. Soon, they find themselves being hunted again. But there's no place to hide. They send a distress signal to the nearby oil rig and are granted permission to surface there. But as they rise, the rig workers spot giant tentacles rising from the sea. The Kraken strikes, ripping the rig apart with ease. Explosions, screams, destruction. The rig is lost. Victor watches it unfold through the periscope, horrified. The beast turns its attention back to them. Olshansky takes over and launches torpedoes, 2 direct hits. But it's not enough. The creature is still coming. Victor regains command, narrowly dodging an attack. Systems fail, a fire breaks out, and the torpedo room is sealed with 7 people inside. Carbon monoxide levels rise. It's grim. Then Victor remembers. Silence. The creature hunts by sound. He orders a complete shutdown. It works. The Kraken swims away. They regroup. Julia treats the wounded, including Victor. Slowly, she earns the crew's trust. She tells Victor that the Kraken likely went into hibernation and was awakened by her experiments. If they keep using sonar, it will come back. Suddenly, a new clue. A sound recording from when they were in silent mode. It's tapping, on metal. There are survivors, from Julia's camp. The second sub might still be there. They follow the signal to a massive abyss. Victor boards a mini-sub with 2 officers to investigate. Deep below, they find it. An entire graveyard of sunken ships, and the missing sub. Its front section is intact. They dock, and Victor finds his brother Alexander alive. They've been hiding in silent mode to avoid the Kraken. There's no time to celebrate. Only a few can fit on the mini-sub, so Victor stays behind. They mark the sub's location but shut off the tracker before the Kraken detects it. As the mini-vessel returns, Victor and Alexander try to recover the weapons. They succeed, but the signal draws the Kraken. The main sub hides in silence, but one mistake, a bumped tracker, draws the beast back. It leaves just before destroying the sub. Meanwhile, Victor